Do you need a webtoon that has a ton of interesting plot lines, action, and character development? In this day and age, Unordinary is right up your alley. Don't think it's a controversial opinion to say that Unordinary is a fan favorite webtoon. With its art always getting better and better, the action and the story getting deeper and more fun to read, it's just a fucking blast, man. And I fucking love the webtoon. It's fun, interesting, and it just hits many issues of power and corruption and what it means to be better and responsible with power, along with different perspectives on what to do and how to wield said power and dealing with others that are weak and or powerful, right? So there is just so much to unpack when it comes to Unordinary, but this is going to be like a semi like spoiler sort of video with me just glazing and talking about the whole comic. So because it's just fantastic, it's great. Season 3 just started and I'm just having a blast already, right? So I'm just gonna go ahead and get into it. If you don't want spoilers for the entire thing, just go ahead and click off, go ahead and read it, come back and just express how much you enjoyed the webtoon and my recommendation, right? So with that being said, here we go. So the story setting is basically a world where people have abilities that put them in different classes: high tier, mid tier, and low tier, and everyone on top looks down and controls those on the bottom. The top gets most of the resources, while the bottom gets little to none. No, unlike neighborhoods with low tiers literally have no police most of the time, and fights and deaths happen regularly. Crazy part is that this is just modern society. It's just how it works, how life works, and everybody just accepts it. Our vehicle into this world is John, right? He is a cripple who is going to the most prestigious school in the area, who is trying to survive high school. A cripple is someone who basically has no powers, point blank, them like fucking trash, more so than the low tiers. Even the low tiers will go ahead and treat them like trash because they at least have a power, right? Now, I will lightly get into spoilers, so that's a bit of a warning there, right? That's my second one. Here we go. The webtoon has plenty of storylines and characters, but the main driving force is John, as he is the protagonist, who is in a unique position storyline wise and character wise. John isn't someone who follows the rules of society, and the king of the school, yes, king because power constitutes hierarchy, and he didn't like John. He didn't like how John and the queen of the school, Sarah, was his best friend and ignore the hierarchy, the system, and so on. So after Sarah gets sent home for reading the book Unordinary, oh my god, right? And causes so much concern because it's a banned book and it confuses the mind. In reality, it just helps open people's minds and gives people motivation to strive for a better world that isn't the current system in place, and the current system does not like it, so they banned it. So after Sarah gets sent home for a book, the book is also written by John's dad, who made it in an effort to reach out to his son after a very tough time. Sarah would be sent away and John would get his ass beat profusely and would be thinking about like, why am I dealing with this bullshit? Like what's going on here? Then seemingly Arlo would befriend him, take him somewhere supposedly, but it was just to a low-key place to beat his fucking ass. And that's when the truth comes out that, of course, spoilers, John does have abilities, right? Abilities, yes. He can copy and amp multiple abilities and beat the fuck out of everyone there, specifically, and throughout the whole comic. But I digress. This will lead John in a darker place, beating the fuck out of everyone in the hierarchy's top members, which would lead to Blake and Ray, who also with Eisen, who is a friend, along to this story that open up other lines. Like they introduce like the more serious parts of the story, like a group called Ember that kills heroes, the small and divided hero society, and Spectre, a group that wants to equalize society and destroy the concept of the hierarchies, but within the group, the message has been tainted with a faction in the group that would rather take away abilities from the high tiers altogether and control them that way, instead of just striving for a world of equality, which I don't think will ever happen, but maybe something close to it. So Ray, Black, and Ison try their hand at being heroes, where they encounter Ember and other heroes. Eventually, Sarah has her powers taken away by Spectre's rogue group, and John is pretty pissed about it, right? Season 1 ends with John as the Joker, hierarchy character, taking down all the royals in front of the school, with Sarah realizing her best friend is Joker and he does have powers when she doesn't at the time. Season 2 is pretty fucking beefy, and I will say this, right? With John taking over the school, Sarah and the others trying to find him and understand him. They also, like, a lot of the royals went ahead and opened up this place called the Safe House for anybody, regardless of rank and status, can come in and be safe and be cool and, just talk to each other and so on, right? But John didn't like it because he thought it was just a place for the students to basically rally behind, like, the high tiers, like something similar that happened in his past, but in this case it's not the case. That's not what they're trying to do, and everything comes to a boiling point to where he's beating the fuck out of everybody again, and then he does break down mentally when Seraphina, with her powers back, return to talk him down, and he goes home to rest his mind and just take a break from all the bullshit. When he does come back, he tries kind of to make amends and not freak out as much as before. But when he gets involved with Spectre, because Sarah and the others, shit gets so much more complicated because of this. Eventually, things come to a head when Sarah can't go to school since she is wanted, and the authorities who are Ember, Ember is just a secret unit of the to basically enforce their whole system and hierarchy. They tried to arrest the principal, which, God, the principal's badass, I'm not gonna lie, which causes a whole sort of like situation to go on. And the authorities come in. They went ahead and talked to the former principal to come in, and the authorities come over the house, and the main crew tries to escape, but only a few escaped and some got captured. The new season continues off with some time being passed, and the members of the crew who have been captured in prison, and the others are trying to figure out what to do. There's still plenty of meat on the bone I missed explaining so much of this shit, because it's like over 200 chapters or some shit. 200 chapters, I think maybe 300. I'm not entirely sure. I just speed read through the entire thing because I just went ahead and read the entire thing like for a third time recently. But overall, the story is just like expansive, great, interesting. All the characters have their own role, and you can get a feel for their personality and character, right? The storyline with Sarah and her family, Ray and her heroic with his inferiority complex and heroics, Arlo with his mixed emotions on the authorities and society, John and his family and powers, Ember and Spectre. There is so much meat to enjoy when it comes to this webtoon. I'm sure there is some aspect of the webtoon that somebody will love. Maybe somebody might not like the John aspect, and maybe they like more of the hero stuff, or maybe they might not like either. It might like Spectre and Ember stuff more. There's just so much that you can enjoy from this webtoon, especially the action and art. They're fucking amazing. They're pretty goddamn good. And I've even gotten like copies of UNORDINARY sitting around in my psych ward for patients to read, because it's just that good. I really enjoy spreading good stories because it's just that good. I think the main driving focus for me is just the revenge aspect from John's storyline, because it's just so satisfying to see him beat the fuck out of these guys and make a point that he is better than them, but at some point I'm really enjoying the fact that he's choosing to be better now than lose his shit with anger and just basically be a fucking asshole. Even when at the time when the chapters were coming out, you can see in the comments everybody like, but at the same time, like, what the fuck, like, what are you doing, this and that, right? I think it's really cool that to see the community really just sort of like try to be on his side, but also try to like go ahead and not necessarily talk to him, but sort of also see his perspective and everybody else's perspective as well, as to everybody's fuck ups and mistakes. And it's just overall interesting. It's hints at a good community of fans who really enjoy the story. long game wise, I want to see the progression of every character in their story, because even the least interesting aspects are still super fun. Like the doctor who heals everyone with just fucking chemistry and their own kind of like super science that doesn't even tie into his ability is fucking nuts. And his ability, right, which will just basically make you hallucinate your worst fears. It's great. I really love his ability. When they showed that shit out, I'm like, this is fucking fantastic. It really fits his character too. I find everyone's powers, the mindsets interesting, and I can't wait to see what the third season has in store for John and his uncle. Yes, Unordinary is fucking back, and I can't wait to not confuse, what the fuck? I can't wait to continue reading such a baller story. I fully recommend this, since it's one of the webtoons that got me into reading a ton back in the day. Along with God of High School, Tower of God, Gosu, Lord of Olympus, Let's Play, many more down the line that I've read that makes me, you know, just read every fucking day. Like if I'm looking at my like a webtoon or some shit. I'm just saying. Check out the webtoon. I just looked it up. 350 chapters are out right now, and enjoy. Tell me what you guys think of it after you read it, and if you have read it, what are your thoughts on it? Like on Unordinary. It's pretty good. I really enjoy it. What do you recommend to anybody that's trying to get into webtoons or just want to read more in general? It would be sort of like reader friendly to anybody involved, right? I think that's the best way I can really describe it. Like something that you think anybody could pick up and find something interesting in it to keep reading and get them into you know, reading more or into webtoons in general. But yeah, thank you so much for watching and hear me blabber and, you know, glaze the fuck out of webtoon in particular. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. Subscribe for more, and stay safe and healthy mentally, emotionally, and physically. I'll see you guys next time. There's going to be videos rolling out like probably every day from this point on for a couple days. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. See you guys next time. Peace.